This is a Rogue Media Network production.
Welcome back to the show. Today, we're going to take a journey through the rich history of the Lone Star State with someone who spent decades uncovering the stories that shaped Texas. Myra Hargrave McIlvain is an accomplished author, historian, and researcher whose work has brought Texas history to life for countless readers. Now, many Texans have unknowingly encountered her writing while traveling the state. She's researched and written numerous official Texas historical markers. Now, those, of course, by the Texas Historical Commission, preserving the stories of communities and landmarks and remarkable individuals for future generations. But we want to talk about her latest novel. It is The Knotted Ring, which blends meticulous historical research with compelling storytelling, transporting readers into another era while exploring the timeless themes of family and faith and resilience and belonging. Whether she's writing fiction or documenting history one marker at a time, Myra has a remarkable gift for making the past feel alive. And I'm so delighted to welcome you to the show today, Myra. Thank you. First of all, tell everybody where you're coming to us from.
I'm in Austin.
Okay. State capital. Very good place. Good place
That's right.
to sort of center yourself. Well, let's talk about The Knotted Ring. I had an opportunity to be in a book club that just did our little review of your book, and you got to be with us, and so that's how we met. But this is kind of your story at the heart of it, isn't it?
It's a little bit of my story, yeah. A little bit of the pain that I discovered about my ancestry.
Well,
And so I had to write about it. I changed the story considerably when I wrote it, but I just felt compelled, and I have never written anything about my family before. But this was something I used what happened with my family and then turned it into a different story somewhat.
well, without giving away too much, what is
Yeah.
it you hope that readers take away from your novel, The Knotted Ring?
Well, of course, I like the history. I always wanted to have the history, but I want them to have an understanding, a better appreciation of what women, especially, went through during the period of Texas early development, and also what it was like to live with slavery. Because slavery was a major thing in the lives of those people. And it wasn't just an easy thing for uh, families that got involved in relationships with their slaves. And that happened quite often. And I felt like I needed to write about that and write about from the point of view of a woman who uh, carried a black child in a time when it was not appropriate at all for that to happen. And I wanted to write it from her point of view. And that's exactly what I did. But I had to blend it in with the early settlement of Texas because this colony that she came into Texas. Actually, she came from Louisiana into Texas, was the first Anglo colony that settled Texas. So it was primitive when they arrived. And they started from scratch
Well,
on the banks of the
if
Mississippi
you
River.
really think about the hardships and well, just how strong and resilient the settlers had to be.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And they had to be smart to make it work, and they had to be tough to endure it.
Hmm.
And the women had to be just as tough as the men. In fact, sometimes I think the women were tougher because they were supposed to be proper during all of that, remain proper while they were struggling with just surviving.
Well, and your heroine, did come from I guess you'd say an upper class
Yeah, yeah. Grew up on a
on a
plantation.
plantation. Yeah.
Yeah, in Natchitoches Parish, Louisiana,
Hmm.
and then she came from there into Texas.
Okay, so historical fiction, is a balancing act of fact and imagination. So how do you decide where history ends and storytelling begins?
I stay with the actual history, but I put fictional characters into that whatever the era happens to be that I'm writing, and I they are actually moved around by what's happening in their lives. That's what's happening in the real history
Hmm.
that's going on, and so I try never to do anything that makes up an event that would have been a historic event. I try never to make up anything like that. The people are the made up characters. And then there's a lot of reference to the real characters in the time, but I never am comfortable to write from the point of view of say Stephen F. Austin, who was the impresario of that first colony. Now he's talked about a lot. They see him in the story, but I never put any words in his mouth because I don't know what the man said.
Hmm.
And it just doesn't feel right for me to try to write it from that point of view. I
Taking
feel,
that kind of liberty.
yeah, that's just not comfortable for me.
Yeah.
I let him be seen through the eyes of the characters, and that's what I do with all of them.
Well, and as you create these characters, again, it was a springboard, though, was actual people in your lineage. And in fact, you
That's
use the
true.
same names.
Yeah, I did, and it was. Should it be all right? You think if I say that story? I don't
Oh,
mind.
yeah, 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 yeah. Go ahead.
The
We
thing
want them to
that
buy the
drove
book.
me broke my heart.
Oh, hmm.
A number of years ago, my family heard that my fifth great grandmother gave birth to a black child, little black girl, in 1786, February 1786. And the way we discovered it was a woman, a researcher in Houston, had delved into her history, amazing woman, amazing researcher, and discovered that her ancestor was this little black girl who had been sold into indentureship onto a plantation in Louisiana. And she traced her ancestry back to that girl. Then she came to my family, not to me, I didn't even know about it at the time, but to a second cousin. And he gave his DNA. And that's how we finally discovered the story. Now, we have since discovered that it is written in a book about the family history, but that's something that's conveniently not shown up over the years, so nobody knew about it. But when I found out that that had happened, and then that her husband and his brothers sold that baby into indentureship, it just killed me. You know, I'd always felt like that family, the Hargrave family, didn't have slaves, and I was so proud of them for not. And then I found out this. So I wrote several books even after I made the discovery, but I just needed to write about it, and I wanted to write about it from the point of view of a woman that carried this baby. And of course, I made it up what happened to her. And my story does not is not the same ending or the same thing that happened to the baby that happened in real life. I was doing it. I was just charged to write it in my heart
Hmm.
because I was so upset by it, and it kind of was cathartic.
I was going to say, did you find it therapeutic to do that?
Yeah, I really did. It helped a lot. Some of my cousins who do a lot of research told me that in that period, the my fifth great grandmother was from Virginia, and her husband, who she married, was from North Carolina, and we think it probably was an arranged marriage when they discovered she was pregnant. We don't know what happened to the black father, whether he was killed or, yeah, we just don't know.
Yeah.
But my cousins say that in that period, if a white woman gave birth to a black child, she could be fined up to $500. And that's a tremendous amount of money at that time. So that may have been some of the thing that prompted them to get her married off instead of leaving her right there in Virginia, because they took her to North Carolina where she married, and it was she married in December, and this baby was born early February.
Hmm.
So
That was, yeah,
uh,
it was a quickie.
yeah, it was a real quickie, and I
Yeah.
guess you'd call it a shotgun. I don't really
Ah,
know, but
so
also
interesting.
in the history now that we know about, of course, we have all the children that survived. She did not have a child for 3 years, and then she had 10. So my cousins and I think, we made this up, we think she was awful mad at him,
Hmm.
but we
Well,
didn't do
the
that.
the thought of a newborn baby being ripped from the arms of the
Of its
mother
mother.
is
And then
just
into
horrific.
indentureship. I mean,
Right.
and that's what killed me, to think they would do a thing like that.
Yeah.
And, so anyway, I kind of broke my bubble about my family not having slaves.
Well, I mean, as you say, it's. I think it's important that we look at this aspect of our history
Mhm,
and write about it, and
mhm.
it's
That's the way
important.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so important. Well, you have researched many a Texas historical marker inscription. So how did all that happen?
Uh,
How did that come about?
I lived in the 1970s on the Texas coast in Port Lavaca,
Hmm.
and my husband was a CPA, and he was a member, I mean, a partner in a firm that sent him down there to open a little branch. And so we lived down there in the 1970s, and I did a lot of research at that time for our church, uh, the history of our church. Someone had burned the archives because they were just old yellow papers. So
Hmm.
they just burned the archives. So
Oh my
they
goodness.
asked me to work on that. So I was doing a lot of research.
Yeah.
And anyway, because of my research and the things I discovered, I was getting ready to move to Austin, and I was asked to talk to the County Historical Commission about my research on an old bell that had been down at Old Indianola, that old seaport
Hmm.
that blew away. Well, because it was Indianola was just right down the coast from where I lived in Port Lavaca, so I was very interested in that history, and have since written 3 books about it. But anyway, after I finished talking, the chair of the historical commission down there asked me what I'd do in Austin. And I said, well, I've got to have a part-time job for 3 years so I can keep writing. And if I can't make it in 3 years, then I've got to get a full-time job. And he said, the historical commission is always needing people to write markers. I will call them. And he did. And I went in to see them as soon as I arrived, took samples of my writing, and they didn't even look. They hired me on the spot. I went home with history for the first marker. And I never knew what that guy said, but it must have been good. And so for 6 years, I wrote historical markers, and I loved it. It's like working a puzzle because they have to be written with a minimum and maximum width of the page and
Hmm.
length of the story. You have to count the letters and the spaces, and they all count different amounts, and have to do it in chronological order, uh, and you have to do it in a active voice, and it has to be in the written on a fourth grade level. And I've always said I'm really good at fourth grade level. So,
Well, that's what
anyway,
broadcast writing is also on the fourth grade level. So
fourth grade
yeah,
level.
yeah,
Well,
right.
that's what you have to. So anyway, I loved it. It was really fun to do it.
That is
So
so fascinating because we've all seen, and I'm one of those. Let's stop and read it. I always want to
yeah.
pull off and, and see what interesting thing happened at this spot,
Well,
seemingly in the middle of nowhere.
real people really write those.
Actually do that, and we're talking to one right this second. So what was the first one you did? Do you remember?
It was the Battle of Plum Creek,
Hmm.
and it is a marker that is in Lockhart, south of Austin.
Right.
It's right on as 183 goes through Lockhart. There's a park. Uh, oh, I forgot the kind of name of the park, but it's right across the street from HEB. Anyway, that was the first marker. And I remember it because I went home with it that day with the history so I could write it the day I was there. And it's just always, I've pulled it many times and looked at it again. But It kicked it off for me.
So did you come up with this, or did somebody say, "Oh, there was a battle here," or
Oh,
how
no,
did you
no,
even know about
no,
it?
it's involved. The marker is a long process.
Okay.
If you want marker, you go to your local historical commission, the county commission, and they have to approve whatever it is that you have, and you have to do the research on it. Then they approve it. Then once they do, they send it to the commission. The governor appoints, used to be 5, and I guess it still is, people who look over it and see if it looks suitable. Then if they say yes, it goes to the historical commission, and the director of research again looks at it and says, is it accurate? And once that's the case, they give it to the marker writer. And then it goes back through that entire process before the marker writer gets paid. Has to be
Wow.
okay by everybody.
Well, lots
But
of
that
eyes.
is the
There's
involvement.
lots of editing involved, I guess,
Yes,
when it.
a lot of it, a lot of it.
Yeah,
And
so interesting.
that's why I didn't have to come up with it or even do the research on it.
Right.
I just wrote the markers.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there is a quite a lengthy process then to
Yes,
before.
yes. And then a lot of people in the counties will hire a researcher for them and even hire a writer for them. It just depends on their capabilities in
Mhm.
the various counties. But you have to go through, it's not just deciding you want one and getting it.
Interesting. So much more I want to talk to Myra about when we come back, but we need to take a break and want to tell you that today's show is brought to you by Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, your friend in the car business. As they say, come by, let's be friends. We'll be back right after these messages.
We're celebrating the Declaration of Deals at Allen Samuels in Waco. Right now, get $13,000 off a new Ram 1500 Lone Star, plus 2.9% for 72 months. Cash in on $13,000 off a new Ram 2500 Laramie Crew Cab, or choose 0% for 36 months, plus no payments for 90 days. Feel secure with America's best full-size truck powertrain 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty at Allen Samuels.
Come by.
Summer isn't over yet. Make every last splash count at Waco Surf. Catch perfect waves, float the lazy river, or relax on the beach while the kids make unforgettable memories. Stay in their hotel or private cabins, or hook up with your RV. Located just 90 miles from Dallas and Austin, set on 450 acres in the heart of Texas, Waco Surf is unlike any other water park around. Before school starts, give your family one more epic adventure. WacoSurf.com. Book your stay today and catch a wave.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
My best friend is a shade tree who never questions why. I rest beneath its branches, forget about the time. It knows I'm only waiting patiently to die. My best friend is a shade tree who never questions why. Do I choose to hide from everything our world has prioritized. Oh, the shade tree never questions why. The turning of the seasons won't change my mind. Now cover me with snow and lean, here is where I lie. While others are bathing in brilliant sunshine, well, I prefer my shade tree who never questions why. Do I choose to hide from everything our world has prioritized. No, the shade tree never questions why. All the money in the world won't dry mine either, love, no. See, we've had too much, and now words won't do enough. All the money in the world won't dry our tears. Throats are burning beneath the sun. Allow the smoke to take hold of my lungs. Let the death of this city be shared with me. Take me from all these things I know I'll never need. 'Cause all the money in the world won't dry your tears, and all the money in the world won't dry mine either, love, no. See, we've had too much, and now words won't do enough. And all the money in the world won't dry our tears. a silken handkerchief covered with sweat and sea. You find that nightly it'll drain you of everything. Your mouth is dry and your muscles have run soft. Is this where you wanna sleep? Do you dream of being better off? You best burn the bedspread, them sheets that lie beneath. Take your mattress, drag it out into the street. All the money in the world won't dry your tears. All the money in the world won't dry mine either, love, no. See, we've had too much, and now words won't do enough. All the money in the world won't dry our tears. All the money in the world won't dry your tears. All the money in the world won't dry mine either, love, no. See, we've had too much, and now words won't do enough.
Summer isn't over yet. Make every last splash count at Waco Surf. Catch perfect waves, float the lazy river, or relax on the beach while the kids make unforgettable memories. Stay in their hotel or private cabin, or hook up with your RV. Located just 90 miles from Dallas and Austin, set on 450 acres in the heart of Texas, Waco Surf is unlike any other water park around. Before school starts, give your family one more epic adventure. WacoSurf.com. Book your stay today and catch a wave.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Providence. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
If I had somebody that was looking for a car, I would definitely recommend Allen Samuels. The trust that I have, the care that they take, they genuinely want to take care of you. They really ask for your feedback when you go to the support department to make sure they're taking care of you in every way possible. So I really appreciate that they listen to your feedback.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
For anyone that's in the car buying mode or looking for a car right now or a truck, I would definitely come by Allen Samuels, get to know the people here like I have, how well I'm taking care of the dealership and how well, service and any kind of warranty issues or those sort of things. Because of the way they take care of me, it's made me a Ram driver. They said I don't think they'd want to go anywhere else if they came here.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
And we are back with Myra Hargrave McIlvain, who has written a book. It's a historical fiction, The Knotted Ring, based on really some characters in her own lineage and looking back at her family history. Kind of a little bit of a surprise, I think, when you learned some things about your family. But it prompted you to, almost in a way of therapy, to write, to come up with a storyline. And at first when I started reading, I thought, this is pretty improbable. I was having a little bit of a difficulty buying into it. But then as you did such a beautiful job in writing the story, in your storytelling style, that I was believing it. And what we haven't talked about is what the knotted ring is and how that played a role. What is a knotted ring?
Well, a knotted ring was they used in the 19th and earlier than that century, 18th and 19th century. People did mourning, used hair of the dead person to do mourning rings, and I'm sure many of you've seen pictures with these beautiful, intricate flowers woven from human hair and jewelry made of human hair. Maybe not, but that's quite, in fact, I found out just recently that until recently, I believe it was Kansas City, had a museum of mourning paraphernalia
As
or
in
whatever you
MOUR
call it.
in mourning. Yeah,
More
yeah.
MOUR, yeah, that kind,
Mourning.
mourning,
Yeah.
grieving, that kind of.
How
And
interesting. I really was not familiar with
yeah,
this
well, I
kind
have
of
seen
jewelry.
other pictures that have been framed of work that's just intricate twisting of hair, and it looks almost like metal sometimes because I don't know what they put on it that makes it kind of shiny,
Mhm.
but I wanted to do something in this book that would carry through, and the this girl's the the protagonist's lover used her hair. She gave him she cut off her braid and gave it to him, and he wove this thing with delicate little knots and made a ring out of it and gave it to her because he knew they were going to be separated.
Mhm.
And so she kept that as a treasure. And I wanted to have something that just fit for it to be an image that went throughout the book, clear to the very end of the book. And it just seemed appropriate to name the book then The Knotted Ring.
Well, it's beautiful. I mean, you are a remarkable writer, and
Thank
thoroughly enjoyed it, and highly recommend it. It's available on Amazon Books. I think so.
Mhm.
Where I picked it up. But you are also a writer for the Texas Historical Commission of these wonderful roadside markers, and so I want to kind of go back to that part of your career. Have you ever uncovered a story that maybe changed your understanding of Texas history?
Well, one, Rabbi Henry Cohen of Galveston
Mm-hmm.
um, was a little bitty man about 5 feet tall, brilliant, spoke about 19 languages fluently, and he
Wow.
arrived in Galveston in 18, oh shoot, I think it was 60 something. I wrote a marker about him, and he rode about town on his bicycle. He wore black suits, white shirts, and white bow ties, very formal. And then he wrote all his sermon notes and appointments on his cuffs. He went to see everybody in the jails and in the hospitals. He didn't think there was any difference in any people. He was loved by the prostitutes as well as the important people. He was known all over the country. And finally, he was the one that wealthy people on the East Coast, concerned about Jewish immigrants coming into the large cities, especially New York, and not having jobs and not being able to speak the language and just living in abject poverty. These wealthy Jewish people were ashamed of that.
Mm.
And so they arranged to have ships miss New York and go down to Galveston because they knew about Henry Cohen, Rabbi Henry Cohen. And he met them, and he met over 10,000 families that he got settled all over the Southwest because people would let him know if they needed haberdasher, if they needed whatever, a seamstress or whatever kind of job, and they would come in on the ship. He would put them in a hotel to get them cleaned up, and then put them on a railroad and send them to the towns. And he made a tremendous difference in the settlement of the South and West part of the country. And there's so much to tell about him that he was one of the inspirations for me going on and starting. When I was writing markers, I started writing books that became guidebooks, and ended up with 3 of them published by the University of Texas Press. And it was his story. And not being able to get the commissioner's court in Galveston, who wanted that marker to put all the stuff in it that I wanted in it. Instead, they wanted to say whereas and whereas and whereas and make it boring.
Right.
And so that prompted me to start writing these books that I ended up writing. I wrote 4 of them that were ended up being guidebooks so people could find what I was talking about.
Okay, yeah, let's talk
It was
about some of those. Because you have them in several different parts of the state, right? But I
uh-huh.
don't think there's one here in Central Texas.
Yeah, there is. It's
Oh, is there
called,
one? Okay.
yeah, it was, and it came out in 1980.
Oh, okay.
That was my first, why you don't have it. That was my first book. And it is stories all around Austin.
Hmm.
And I really was just going to write. My whole idea was to write these stories about these little towns and the interesting history there when nobody could tell me what to write because I was having trouble with them saying, no, you can't write that, you can't write that. I was writing articles for the Historical Commission as well, and they would say, oh, you can't write about the Indians, they might get offended. Well, I like the Indians. So anyway, I was just aggravated, and then when I got Rabbi Cohen and I couldn't get them to say what I wanted in that marker, I said, I will just write a book. And my friend, who had already been an artist for another book of Austin mansions, said, well, I'll just do the drawings for your book.
Oh.
So we started out. And when we got to Bastrop, the first little town we were going to include in the book, nobody knew where the Confederate Arms Factory was located. It was a little bitty building, very close to downtown, but they would just, they didn't know. And then they weren't exactly sure where the Camino Real crossed the river.
Which is
And
pretty
I
important.
wouldn't be able to find those things if I
Right.
was talking about it. So that dawned on me, it had to be a guidebook. And so that's what it ended up being. And it was titled, the publisher that took that was Aiken Press. It used to, he was a regional publisher. He's passed away now. But it was successful. And after it was successful, the University of Texas Press picked it up and they did 3 of my books after that.
So they're all still available.
Well, they are, but with me giving directions, you can imagine the roads have changed,
Oh, I'm sure.
and so the history's still good,
Mm-hmm.
and they are on Amazon, and you can get them used at a good decent price
Okay.
on Amazon.
I have
And
to
you can
look
still
in,
get
have
all
to
that
look into
history.
that. Is there a
Yeah.
historical marker or a site that holds special meaning to you? It might be like picking your favorite child. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I can't really say any of them that are special. They're just some that happened at certain times,
Yeah.
like Cohen, but and the first one that I did. But I really can't think of any that are. And I will say this: since I was freelance, I didn't work in the office. I worked at home. I was like the stepchild. They gave me all the cemetery markers. Anything that they didn't really want to write, there was one other person writing that worked at the commission, and they would kind of pawn those off on me. So I didn't always have the most exciting markers to write about. Part of what I say is I write about personalities in the cemeteries, as well as homes and
Well,
events.
and they can be fascinating.
Oh
They
yeah,
can
there's
certainly be
really
fascinating.
fascinating histories of people who are in the cemeteries.
Yeah, as you say, their most fascinating Texas stories aren't always in the history books.
Oh no, that's right. I found out so much when I was writing those markers that I did not know, especially about the German immigration into Texas.
Yeah,
Just
let's talk a little bit
amazing.
about that. That's my people were the
Yeah.
Germans that came in on my mother's side.
Mhm. Well, because I lived in Port Lavaca, it was right, just down the coast from Old Indianola,
Mhm.
which was the site where that first huge wave of Germans who came in and went on in and established New Braunfels and Fredericksburg,
Yeah.
they came in there at that port. I mean, it wasn't a port, it was just a bare shell beach. They started arriving in 1844, December of 1844, and most of them went inland and finally they stopped at a place that became known. They named New Braunfels. They didn't even know where they were going when they left. But anyway, there was a group that was so disgusted with the German noblemen who organized this settlement that they decided they weren't going any further. They stayed right there on that coast where there was just one man with a house, and that was it. And they stayed and started building a little port, a German port, and then it expanded and expanded on down. And by, I think it was 1845, uh, they named the place Indianola. But before that, it was called Indian Point. And so anyway, it grew and grew. And by the time of the Civil War, it rivaled Galveston as a port. It was amazing, the traffic that came through there. And once it started making money, of course, lots of people besides Germans came in to make money. But that was where, after the Mexican-American War, the United States realized, oh, there's tremendous wealth at Chihuahua, all down in Chihuahua, just south of the border a little ways. And so they built a road coming up from Chihuahua. It came into Texas, through San Antonio, and all the way to Indianola. And they brought that silver in from those mines down there and put them on ships and sent them from Indianola to the mint in New Orleans. And so that helped to really build the town, to have that kind of growth coming in. And then when we had the discovery of gold in California, Indianola was a perfect place to come down the Mississippi and outfit at Indianola and go on the lower route to California instead of trying to go back. There was no Panama Canal. So they ended up having to go all the way down around South America, or go up in the northern area where across the mountains, where it was so treacherous and cold in the winter.
At all.
So coming through Indianola was a better place. So all that helped to make that town really, really prosperous. And a lot of people don't know that, because 2 storms hit it and wiped it out completely. Left it behind a ghost town.
So was one of them the 1900 hurricane?
No, the first one was 1875, which really crippled them. And then in 1886, they had another major storm that burned the downtown caught fire, besides all of the wind damage. So people that had big homes that survived numbered the boards of their houses and moved them inland. And some of those mansions are still, you can see them in Port Lavaca, in Victoria, and in Cuero. Some beautiful homes that were down there. And when I was 8 years old, I visited my aunt in Cuero, and she lived in one of those old houses, and took me into the pantry and showed me the raw walls of that pantry still had Roman numerals burned into the wood, showing where the wood had been numbered for them to move it in. That's the first. I was 8 years old, but I never forgot it. First time I knew about Indianola.
Well, that spark of interest in history certainly started right there. So there were, I guess, some surprising discoveries during your research that made you say, I had no idea.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Constantly discovering things. And it still delights me to find something else that I didn't know. But I ended up writing, my first book was called The Doctor's Wife, and it opens in 1845 after the first group had come in, but they hadn't really started the town that grew into Indianola. And the protagonist came in as a young, really a bride, and stayed there, and that starts with her story. And then the next family would be her older sister, who came next, and that was the book called Stein House. And then after the storm destroyed everything, people kept saying, well, what happened to the family? Well, so many Germans settled in Washington County, where Brenham's located, because of the rolling hills, looked like homeland, rich soil. And so I decided to move them to Washington County after the place blew away.
I think my grandmother, Thesnilda Neugebauer Quirum,
wow, what a name,
came from Brenham.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
well,
and then they went to Riesel, so they were in the Riesel area. There she was a young bride, and they moved to Waco. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So you're connected with all those.
Yeah,
things.
definitely.
Well,
I got the blue eyes and the blonde hair to prove it too.
But yeah, I'm not German, but I was impressed with the Germans.
Yeah.
And their vigor and determination for education, and their determination to make it. And that was my whole point of view with those people.
Oh, yeah. That is so interesting. I love. Are there some misconceptions about Texas history that people have?
Well, it's
I mean,
not
you're
all
doing everything you can to make sure they don't, but
it's not all purity and love.
yeah, I know.
You know, I don't think history is romantic. I think it's interesting and fascinating,
Mhm.
but I don't see it as a romantic thing. My books, now the cover of my books kind of look like romance books because the publisher likes things that look kind of like
I'll
it.
show them.
They are not romances. You see, that's a woman and she's looking off at that
Yeah.
figure leaving. But the others even look more like romance than this one, but that this publisher has done. But I think that sells books. I don't know.
Oh, sure.
But I don't see it, the history that way. There was a lot of struggle and a lot of characters built in Texas, and some weren't good, but there were plenty of good ones too. So I like to write all
Well,
about.
a resilient bunch of folk who came to, because we know what the climate's like here in Texas.
That's right. And just
And you think,
imagine.
and often my husband will say, think this time of year, say, what did they eat? I mean, what could they still have had? Because, we have a little garden and like, there's not much in that garden to eat, but they were, and as you said, they were smart and they knew about, medicine, maybe the home remedies. And you kind of get into that. You really bring all that alive in the Knotted Ring, just the cooking, and how they did survive. I mean, and every day that woman is figuring, well, how am I going to feed everybody?
Yeah, yeah. And then when they have a drought, then they don't have animals or anything. They just shoot whatever wild thing they can, and they pull all kinds of. They know about the green things they can pull that grow wild, and I wouldn't know one thing from the next, but they did. And
because you can die eating the
all
wrong
those
thing.
yes, you can kill
For sure.
yourself.
Yeah.
But they just knew things like that,
Yeah.
and if they didn't, they could kill themselves.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's.
Well, you are.
I have one other book that I've written that's a collection of. It's nonfiction, and it's current. It's called Texas Tales: Stories That Shaped a Landscape and a People, and it's 113 stories about characters in Texas history, clear back to Cabeza de Vaca, who walked barefoot across the whole country. Took him 8 years to get from Florida down to Mexico City, walking barefoot, and clear up to fairly modern times of various characters. And that Rabbi Henry Cohen, he's one of them in that book.
Good.
But anyway, it's just a collection of stories.
Oh, there so many interesting characters in our history, in our past. Here in Waco, we kind of revere Jacob de Cordova, who was a surveyor, and in one of your characters, was doing the surveying, and that's what Jacob did in plotting out the city of Waco. And
Is that right?
He called Waco his beautiful daughter. He was a Jew who. Anyway, he's got an amazing story. If you're not that familiar with Jacob de Cordova,
I'm not.
Jacob's Well, if you've heard of that down in.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, that's named after him, and in Wimberley.
Right?
But yeah, he's
I did not know that.
He made sure that there were spaces for churches and schools and parks as well in the plotting out of the city. Along with Georgia Erath. So anyway, the history here in Waco has got some amazing characters who did remarkable things. And that's what you've done in preserving all this. And I cannot thank you enough, Myra, for spending some time with me here on the show, especially to talk about the Knotted Ring. But then you have some guidebooks that you can go and try to find. And your tales, I really want to look into that book that you have on these characters.
You can get it on Amazon as well.
All
yeah.
right. So
a lot of people a lot of men like that too, like the Texas Tales, because I don't know why they like them, but they do.
Well, Myra Hargrave McIlvain, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for spending some time with me. Stay with us. There is more of the show ahead.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Provident. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
It's our declaration of deals, and savings are moving fast at Allen Samuels Jeep in Waco. Get a 2026 Jeep Wrangler Sport for just $32,990, or take $10,000 off a 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit. Or qualified buyers can get 0% APR for 36 months and no payments for 90 days. Don't stand still. Drive today. Allen Samuels.
Come by, let's be friends.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
I had a panic moment running my hands through my hair, and that's when I found Keeps. Keeps gave me the results that I was really looking for.
I definitely felt a lot more confident once I saw my hair coming back.
Keeps has given me the control of my hair back.
Get your first month free at Keeps.com.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
This is a Rogue Media Network production.